Hi and welcome back to my channel. I am Caspian and I read quite a lot. And we are here today to start celebration of the Sunwait. So I have a few things to do this morning with you guys. And one is that I'm gonna put away my Spookopoly. So I have a binder here that I keep fun stuff. I keep fun stuff, and not only fun stuff, but it's uh, it's uh, it's my personal binder. And here I have my Spookopoly sheets with the description of all the of the board. And where does it start? Here, there. So I have all of that, and I'm gonna put that right here. And then I actually printed two boards. One that I have put in my reading journal, and I draw, I draw from the board to like, oh, this was roll number 10, and this is the book I picked. And here I have the board that I've actually been rolling on, and it fits inside of this. So I'm gonna put the board. Bye-bye, Spookopoly, for this time. I know Becca said that she's not gonna do this next year, but that doesn't mean I can't. So I might pop this out next year and maybe redo it in some way, put some other things on it, or just have. I think I'm gonna keep the board as is, and then I'm just gonna have fun with like the chance card and the community shelf cards. So these are the cards I have pulled this year, and there are one community shelf card, so that's one I can keep. It doesn't, community shelf doesn't have to be different because there's no titles on it or anything, so I can keep that as is. And then the other ones, I will remove the two books that I have read that was from the chance deck, which is books from my own shelves. So I'm gonna remove the ones I read and keep the other ones. And then next year we're gonna see. I can see if I have actually read all of the books on my shelf and I can redo these, or if I will be like, oh, I can keep these because I haven't gotten to these books. So here are my board in my binder, and I'm gonna say goodbye for now. Put it over here. So I did go on and put those two cards, the two books from my shelf that I read, into the recycling. So now it's time for the Sunwait candles. And I have like, you're gonna see, I have like this with all the candle holders. And I think I'm gonna just talk to you a little bit about it while I unwrap this stuff, because I have bought some tea lights, green ones this year, because I found green ones that also have these plastic cups, so you can see the green, actually see the green. So these candles, so I have chosen, so not everyone who celebrates the Sunwait has the same setup. The common thing, or the thing that everyone does, is they have 6 candles or candle holders with candles, so you can have like these long candles as well, but it's hard to find holders with 6 holders, or chandeliers with 6 holders. There's usually like 7 or 8 or 4, so that can be tricky. So what I've done, until I can find my candle holder, I have chosen to have these small ones. And so these are holders that have once contained smaller candles, And when they emptied, I cleaned them out and then I put the runes on them. So I'm gonna go backwards from the last to the first so that then I'm gonna light the first. So I'm gonna go backwards through the candles. So it's the 6. For me, I have chosen the 6 first runes of the Uthark, and that's the rune alphabet. It's the rune alphabet that I work with in other ways. So the most common thing I think is to choose which was the first thing that popped up. Like, this is a new tradition, so anyone can basically do whatever they want with it. But there are, like on Instagram and Facebook, there are a page called the Sunwait. I think it's called that, and they share a small poem with each of the rune that you light for each week. So it's 6 weeks, 6 Thursdays before the winter solstice. So that's why it's so early. It's not until Christmas, because this is a heathen this is a heathen celebration, you guys. So there are the Futhark and the Uthark, and the Futhark are the alphabet that you wrote with, you can say. So that's like the one that everyone knows about, at least where I live, because it's our history, it's our ancestry. And then you can switch it up a bit and work with it in a medicinal way, in a shamanic way, and most of us that do that work with the Uthark. So it's just it transform. When you do that, you transform the written alphabet into a map of the cosmos, and that's a whole other story that I'm not gonna go into right now. I have another channel talking about this at length, so and now I'm just going to talk about this. So for me, because I am a shamanic practitioner within the Norse medicine and the Norse shamanism, Nordic ways, so I have chosen the Uthark, of course. So the first runes of the Uthark are Urus. This is not the names I use, but it's the English names of them. So it's Urus, Thurisas, Ansus, Raido, Kenas, och Gebo. And Gebo. I use Utush, Asred, Ken, Gife. More kind of words. It's not like it's because to me the runes have names that are separate from their sounds. So it's like almost like the A in the alphabet would have the name Anders, something like that. And so yeah, for me, so I'm gonna go backwards and put these candles in. So I have Gebo or Gifu is the last one. So that one is the one that you light just before the winter solstice. I'm gonna put the green light in that one and put it on here. And I think I'm gonna put them in a circle facing outwards. And then I have Kenas or Ken. And that's this one. I'm gonna take candle and put in that one. I'm kind of glad I got like bigger candles this year. And I have a few extra, I think, as well. And then it's Raido or Raid. That's that one. So Gibor Gifu is for the last Sunwait. And Ken or Kenas is for the 5th Sunwait. And Raido or Raid is for the 4th Sunwait. And it's also the 4th rune of the Uthark. And then we have Ansus or As, that looks like this. And I'm gonna put it there, and that's for the 3rd Sunwait. So I think I will go deeper into each and every one of these for each Sunwait. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about them, about the runes that are on them. So the 2nd Sunwait, so that's next week, is Thurisas or Tush. And then there is the first one, which is Ur or Urus. And that's the one I'm gonna light today. So I'm gonna light that candle. And what I usually do, because I'm a practitioner as well, I sound the rune to greet it. So actually first I'm gonna sound all of the runes, and it's not certain that it will come through the camera, but I'm gonna do it. It's more for me and for my connection with the runes, and before I light the candles. So and if you think this is weird, then let it be weird. And if you think it's interesting, I will link my other channel in my description box, and you can go browse around there. I have a playlist on there that's called Nordic Shamanism, if you want to know a bit more. Okay. Utusasrid ken gifu vinya hogel naudisiara pertra iu algi soltyr bjerka maderlagu ingodal dagas fe. Utusasrid ken gifu vinya hogel naudisiara pertra iu algi soltyr bjerka maderlagu ingodal dagas fe. Utusasrid ken gifu vinya hogel naudisiara pertra iu algi soltyr bjerka maderlagu ingodal dagas fe. And then we take the first candle, Ur or Urus, and we light it and sound the rune. So it's a sound, not a name. The name of this rune is Urrunan, which is one of the few runes that actually has a name with the sound of the rune in it. So it simply is Urrunan, so the rune Ur, but Ur also means Ur is like it's a prefix of a word that you put in front of things that are really old or ancient, like the first. Ur means the first of anything. And within this rune there are the concept of Audhumbla, which is in the creation story of the runes and the Nordic shamanism. It's the great cow that births the world into being. So this is her rune. This is you can say this is the rune of the womb, of the great feminine, of the sacred feminine, of the divine feminine, and of those kind of forces that can really birth something into being. It's the rune of creation. It's a celebration. So lighting this candle is a celebration of creation. So one thing I haven't really figured out is how I'm gonna put this up so you can see it. So I don't know how I'm gonna do about this, but I'm gonna move the candles because the only thing high enough is my stack of books, and I'm not gonna use that. So yeah, maybe I can go to the kitchen and pick a bowl. Okay, so that was kind of hard to do. It's standing on top of two books. It's standing on top of a book about the universe according to Sapmi people, or like the old ways. And then it's standing on top of a book, Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the paperback volume of all 5 books. And then it's standing on top of something else that is kind of wobbly. But it's gonna have to do. So, and I did push back my other candles a bit that aren't lit, and I'm gonna put that back with them eventually. And then I'm gonna have to think of another setup for next week so you can see both the candles that I lit by then. So yeah, or I can just maybe put one up at a time. So here are my stack of books for my Sunwait calendar. So I have been inspired by blind date with books. I've talked about this in the announcement video of this, and I have seen other people doing similar things, or like I think Loranda reads. They give each other. I think they have wrapped books from each other's home libraries that the other person haven't read, and then they give one to each other every month. So it's like a secret book every month for them to read, which is a really fun idea. And as you see, there are more than 6 books here. There should be 8. Yeah, because I just thought, so in this stack, there are books that are winter or Christmas themed. So that's what I've chosen. And there are a mix of 2 genres, I would say. One is like a feel-good/romantic genre, and then the other one is cozy mystery, I hope. Could be like gory crime novel, I don't know. But it's winter themed, and it's either crime or it's romance or feel-good, because feel-good books are like, I think it's a genre that mainly I have mainly seen it in Swedish media, and it's like cozy vibe novels, and there might be a romance in it, but it doesn't have to be for it to be cozy. It could be just, a lonely man living in a firehouse and taking care of the firehouse and meeting new people, and then something happened in his life, he has to deal with it, and he gets help from it, and it's a community kind of vibe, something like that. It's cozy. Something happened, but it's rarely end of the world kind of thing. It's just a bit of a glitch, and then they sort it out. That's kind of the vibe. So I wanted something cozy for Christmas, and I wanted Christmas themed, I wanted winter themed. So before I choose one to open, I'm gonna talk a little bit about the books that I'm reading right now. So I'm gonna go get one book that I haven't picked. So if I'm not wrong, the last book I talked about reading was the Sunwait Trials. So since then, I have read this one, Beautiful Creatures by Cami Garcia and Margaret Stoll. So this is the first book in a series. I don't remember what the series is called, but so I read this in Swedish. It's a really thick one, and I read it with a friend. So she and I read this simultaneously. I read it like this. She audiobooked it, and she listened to it, and we have discussed it once, and we're going to discuss it again. But I finished the read, and I really enjoyed it. So what I enjoyed about it was the pace of it, I think, because after a while it kind of got to me, and I just had to keep reading, and I read it in like less than a week, and most of it in the last 3 days of that week, because I was just like, oh, I was hooked. So it hooked me, and I like that. I also like when romantic interests that are young are of the same age, because I don't find any joy in reading about a 20 or 18-year-old being with a 15-year-old. That's not okay to me. So that's when those books, I tend to keep reading them if they are kind of good, but it's like something that is at the back of my mind that it doesn't get a good rating from me. But this one did get a good rating. I really enjoyed it, and I have reviewed it on Goodreads. So I'm gonna next time I go to the library, I'm gonna see if they have the second book in. I couldn't reserve it, because when they have it in that library, you have to go get it. It's like first one there, you can't hold it. So I'm gonna have to go see if they still have it when I get there. Otherwise, I can reserve it, so when it gets back, it's mine. So I really like this book, so this one, but I read this at the same time as this one, Starling House, and they were kind of similar. They're both school setting. It's both dream oriented fantasy, and it's they have a similar storyline, but in this book uh, the two main characters are both in school, and a lot of stuff happens at school. In this book, no one is at school, but it's young people. It's dreams that takes you back, and yeah, they were too similar for me to read at the same time. So I paused this one and finished this one because I wanted to finish it for the buddy read. And then I didn't only want to read this one. I wanted actually to read this one. So this is what I read in between. I don't remember why. I think I wanted something lighter to read before bed, because I'm going to talk about Starling House in a moment. But so this one I have finished reading, and it's the second book in the X-Hex series. And I really, really enjoyed this one. And it also got to me, and I needed to keep reading it. So I read it. My aim was to read this for before bed, just to, end the day on a cozy note. But it ended up me reading it for like 2 nights, and then the third day and the fourth day I just read all of it. So because it was too good to not continue and read fast. And there's a lot of quotes I have marked in this book. So I liked the first one a lot. And this one I liked even more. I liked the story in this. I liked the main characters in this. I liked the main male character more this time than in the first book. And he's kind of described as a bit of a grump. He's described as a bit of a dick. But I really liked him more, actually, than the first one in the first one. I'm not gonna spoil it, but it's a really good book. So I gave both of these 5 stars. So Beautiful Creatures, I gave 5 stars. Maybe I should change it to a 4 though. I don't know, because Beautiful Creatures really get a hold of me. I needed to really finish it, and I haven't. I want to keep reading the series. So the difference between these two when it comes to rating is I want to keep reading both series. I'm going to read the next book in the Beautiful Creatures, and I'm probably going to enjoy it. But I think when I've read them, I won't want to read them again. This book, this series, I will probably get back to and read again next year. So that's why this is a 5 star. So I should give that one a 4.5. And on Goodreads, I should put it a 4, I think. I'm gonna yeah, I'm gonna think on that a bit. Yeah. And then right now, which is what I'm reading right now, is important in when it comes to these. So what I'm reading right now is before bed. I'm reading Agatha Christie. This is a Swedish book, but it's I think it's number 4 in the Hercule Poirot series, and I think they are, standalones in a way, so you can read them in whatever order you like. This is the one I found at the library that was not as thick. I wanted a short book, and I really felt like I wanted to dig into Agatha Christie and crime novels, and I watched all of the Poirot movies or TV adaptations, so I knew I wanted it. So when I found it, I was like, yeah, that one. And so the English title of this is, I think it's The Murder of Mr. Ackroyd, or The Murder of Roger Ackroyd. Yeah, The Murder of Roger Ackroyd is the English title of this. So I'm reading that one at night now. So before bed, I read maybe 20 to 50 pages, depending on how tired I am. And since in my blind books, in my calendar, I have some crime novels, I would prefer if I could get, if my first book of this was a feel good, so that I can start reading it today. If it's a crime, I will have to wait until I'm done with this one because I don't want to read them at the same time. And that would put a bit of a pressure on me because I want to finish this one before next Thursday. I don't know if I'm going to pick this one. I'm just going to pick one in the pile. So that was kind of a dumb move by me to start reading this before I knew what I'm going to read for this week. So yeah, that was kind of stupid. So I'm reading this anyway, yeah. And then I'm reading, and I'm enjoying it as well. I am enjoying the book version. I wasn't sure I was gonna, but I think I am. And then I'm reading Starling House. So I recently picked this up again after I finished Beautiful Creatures, and I am enjoying it. I didn't enjoy the first like a third of it because I was reading Beautiful Creatures at the same time, and they kind of got mixed up in my head. And also, this has a when I'm only reading this one in English and I can focus on it, I really like the way it's written, the writing, and I really enjoy I really enjoy the writing. I enjoy the pace. I those are things that kind of bothered me when I read another one at the same time with like similarities in the story and the world building because it kind of messed things up for my Swedish brain. So now that I'm reading only this, I can really devour myself in the English, and now I'm enjoying it. And I'm not sure it's gonna get. It's not a 5-star prediction for me right now. It's maybe a 3.5, border to 4, depending on the rest of the book. It's 304 pages, and I am 196 pages in. So close to 2/3 in this book. So it's I will get back to this one, and I will get back to the murder of Mr. Ackroyd when I have finished those. So to the main event of today, I'm gonna pick one of these books. So I was gonna ask my partner to write runes on these, so I could just so that he could pick them for me. But I'm just gonna, I don't know. There are 8 books. How am I gonna pick? How am I ever gonna pick? Should I just maybe put like no, I have a timer on the phone, so that doesn't work. I don't know how I'm gonna pick. This is just we have like an eeny meeny miny mo situation here, but I'm gonna do the Swedish one. I haven't used this since I was a kid, I think. So I'm gonna hold this up. Ole dole doff, kinkelane koff, koffelane binkebane, ärtan pärtan piff puff puff. Let's say that one because I don't remember the continuation of that rhyme. So these 7 books are gonna have to wait. And I am well aware that I will have 2 books left when I'm finished with this calendar situation. But I have 2 choices by then. Gift the last 2 books to myself at Christmas, or save them for next year. It's leaning towards the first one because I don't want to be in a situation where I buy the same book again because I don't remember having it in my calendar. Because nowhere did I write down what books I put in this. Nowhere. So I'm going in completely blind almost. I have a vague memory from August when I bought these books. So I have a vague memory of maybe 2 or 3 books that are in this, but the rest I just remember that what theme I pick. So we're gonna see what I'm gonna be reading for the next week. I should have maybe picked the smallest one because I'm already reading 2 books. But it will be fine. It will be fine. I like opening up presents. Can I? No, I can't preserve. I destroyed the paper. I can't preserve the paper now. Okay, I think it's a crime. I think it's a crime. So it's Nini Schulman. And I'm gonna see if it has an English title inside, like an original title. Doesn't it? Or is she Swedish? Yeah, yes, yeah. Yeah, she's Swedish. So this is Nini Schulman. I don't know if there is an English adaptation of this or English translation of this. But if I translate the title, Flickan med snö i håret, it's the girl with snow in her hair. So about the author, it says Nini. So I'm gonna change my pronunciation of her name then. Nini Schulman. Schulman. It's the same. Nini Schulman. Nini Schulman is born 1972 and raised in Lesjöfors. Is the little community in eastern Värmland. She has worked as a journalist since 1995, among other things, on Värmlands Folkblad, which is a local paper in Värmland. Se och Hör, which is like a tabloid, like a gossip tabloid. And then Expressen, which is like a nighttime. It's an evening edition of a paper. So it's also a bit of a sensationalization, like scandal kind of thing. Today she lives in Stockholm, but spends her summers in the family cottage outside of Hagfors. The Girl with the Snow in the Hair is her debut. Okay, it's her debut because I have read some of this author before, because these are only authors. No, I'm not gonna lie. It's not only authors I know. But I know this author. I have read from her before, and that was kind of a horror, a creepy horror crime situation. So it says like this: evil lurks among us. On a cold New Year's Eve, so it's November. Thank you. On a cold New Year's Eve, the 16-year-old Hedda Losjö disappears from her home outside of Hagfors in Värmland, to the place where she knows the place, the author. The two police people, is a man and a woman, Petra Wilander and Christer Berglund, gets the case on their table, and it's soon revealed that Goody Two Shoes, Hedda, has lived a double life. Sometime later, a young girl is found murdered in a cellar just a few kilometers away from Hedda Losjö's family home. The girl is naked and has been killed with a shot to the back of her head. Could it be the disappeared Hedda? The little police station is now facing one of its greatest challenges. The journalist Magdalena Hansson has, after a tough divorce, left Stockholm and moved back home to Hagfors with her 6-year-old adoptive son, Nils. She's hoping that the peace and quiet in the town she grew up in is going to give her the spark of joy, the life spark back, joy of life. Magdalena is, let's see, how can I translate this? Magdalena commits emotionally in the disappearance of Hedda, and she's starting to look into the case closer into the case. She realizes that the peaceful community is carrying secrets that some people will do anything to hide. Wow. To translate the back of a book on a standing foot, that's like as you go, that's kind of a challenge sometimes. So it's a crime. It's kind of like, it sounds like a typical Swedish crime novel. It's like you got your it's so common for people to move back from the big city to the small town and being invested in a crime that has happened. They move back for the peace and quiet, and all hell breaks loose, and the community is torn apart in different ways. So it's kind of typical for Sweden. I read a similar one just recently, actually a similar one. But so this is winter themed, it's New Year's Eve, so yeah, I'm gonna tell you all about it next week. Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna keep my candle lit for a few more moments, and I'm not gonna start reading this today because I think I want to finish reading The Murder of Mr. Ackroyd first, because both are crime, and I don't really enjoy reading two of the same genre at once. So I'm gonna take it one at a time and just enjoy my books and my reads. So I'm gonna save this. It's Thursday today, so I probably will start this maybe by Sunday, depending on how busy I am in the next couple of days. So yeah, the latest I'm gonna start is Monday, I think, and there are 350 pages. So hopefully, probably I'll be done with this by next Thursday. I will not start anything new until next week, because I'm also reading a few non-fiction books. And if I am finished with this before then, I can read House Moving Castle at the same time, because I want to read House Moving Castle together with Caroline Marie Reads and her book club on Fable. So, but as soon as I'm finished with The Murder of Mr. Ackroyd, not Doctor, Mr. Ackroyd, I'm gonna start with this one. So yeah. I wish you a lovely week, and I will see you in another week. There will be another video pop up later today, probably with just almost the same content, but in Swedish. So you won't miss anything. I'll see you in a week. Vandra i skönhet, walk in beauty, and Tjingeling.